Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. All right, I'm going to try to go through this show again as we just ran through an amazing show and did not have our program open. So I'm going to try my best to give this back to you once again. Right into the first article. What I would like to discuss is the issue at hand can survive up to 28 days on paper banknotes. And what I find interesting is you can see the layout of what's going to be needed to use for the unknowing of digital currency, digital assets. It's the build up to begin making that comfortable transition to moving away from the fiat paper banknotes into the digital assets and the digital currency. We already know that, a lot of virus, a lot of germs are already on fiat. We know that not everyone has the hygiene practice that you and I may have for whatever the reasons, whether it's location or whether it's practice. So I wanted to start with this. As you can see, that is the buildup to what you and I know. And you and I are gonna know a lot more than the rest of the world. And again, no matter how much we may discuss this, there's going to be so many people who will miss out on this opportunity. So consider yourself lucky. You're still one of the pioneers, one of the early investors, and one of the more knowledgeable people from being at the right place at the right time and getting in on this opportunity. So you can see how now moving into the digital currencies, now there's an additional reasoning to move away from the paper banknotes. And into the next article, you have BOE's Bailey sees little intrinsic value in Bitcoin. And as we get into the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey said it on Monday, it was hard to see how BTC or Bitcoin had any intrinsic value, and he cautioned over its use as a means of payment. He says, I have to be honest, it's hard to see that Bitcoin has what we tend to call intrinsic value. Bailey said this during an BOE question and answer session with members of the public. And he stated it may have intrinsic value in the sense that people want it, but he said it was very nervous about people using Bitcoin for payments because its value was uncertain, pointing out investors should realize its price is extremely volatile. So just as we discussed the reasoning for moving away from paper banknotes, the standard fiat that you're familiar with, now you have a setup to move away from Bitcoin's BTC. And as we start moving into the digital assets, they're going to want to start moving away from everyone's understanding of Bitcoin being the only available assets as it seems to be in the news, the way it's discussed and targeted for discussion on a global matter. But again, as more people begin to come into this as they are now, and it's quickly, like the momentum is gaining rapid speed, as you can see daily from where, for example, if you've been here for a few years, how we just basically sat and held. And now, as of 2020, the progression of the news that is being released is extremely fast, and it is everything that we've been waiting for. So it's a matter of time. You've been patient this long, keep being patient a little bit more, because as we've discussed here, 2021 is the next bull run aligning up with the previous in 2017. But I think this one's going to be much bigger. I would expect it to last much longer. As we've moved away from the speculative bull run, now we're into the use case, the actual utility bull run. And I think that's the thing. Once this ball actually gets rolling and the price begins to start moving, I believe it'll move some this year. How much, I'm not exactly certain. There are a lot of factors at hand. But we do know once it starts moving, it's going to continue its rise into the next bull run. I would like to discuss the stellar battle for 20,000 XLM Kelp trading bot discussed with Nikal Saraf of Stellar Development Foundation. And Sam Connor recently discussed the Kelp trading bot with Nikal from the Stellar Development Foundation and also with Wouter King from Stellar Battle. For those who do not know, Kelp is a free, customizable, open source trading bot for Stellar Universal Marketplace. And in the podcast, they discussed about what the Kelp software will be able to do and how it will be able to aim for and provide the liquidity to the Stellar decentralized exchange DEX. And it's just like my tongue wants to say Stellar Development Foundation, but it's the Stellar Decentralized Exchange, which is their DEX exchange. So how can it be used to trade the different forms of value on the Stellar network? How it is not just confined to the Stellar DEX, and on how it got the capability to integrate seamlessly with several hundreds of exchanges like Kraken. And the great thing here is the Kraken, and you have Jed McCaleb of Stellar, initially came from Ripple as well. The general feeling is that the power of Kelp is mostly unknown and not tapped, with several features like the geographical user interface and development. And of note, there is currently a Stellar battle with a 20,000 XLM prize pool, and it's to be split among 3 people that produce high quality educational content about Kelp. So that should be very exciting, and congratulations to those 3. You will soon be the proud owner. The next article I would like to also discuss is IBM to split into 2 as it reinvents itself. And of course, if we're going to discuss Stellar, you know it's a great thing to discuss IBM also. The International Business Machine, or IBM as we know it, has announced it will split into 2 companies. The move is an attempt to shift its focus to higher margin businesses like cloud computing and AI or artificial intelligence. So a new company focusing on legacy IT infrastructure will be named and spun off next year. IBM shares closed nearly 6% higher after the announcement, and it marks the latest shift by the world's first big computing firm to diversify away from its traditional businesses. We divested networking back in the 1990s. We divested PCs in the 2000s. We divested semiconductors about 5 years ago because all of them didn't necessarily play into the integrated value proposition, said Chief Executive Arvind Krishna. So in the next article I'd also like to discuss is Envoy Group joins R3's Venture Development Program. And Envoy Group joining the R3 Venture Development Program is the startup growth and business development program of the enterprise software firm R3. And it's to support Envoy as it approaches the pilot phase of its trade finance platform. Envoy's solution is built on R3's enterprise blockchain platform Corda and has been working with R3's technical team on the product. So now Envoy Group will also have full access to the benefits of R3's Venture Development Program, and that provides extensive technical support, mentorship, accelerator, and customer opportunities. The pilot phase is expected to be launched at the end of this year, and Envoy will engage R3 to gain access to R3's network of potential customers, investors, and financial institutions. The reason I want to discuss that article is Envoy's tokenized blockchain trade finance platform is set to launch in Q2. But on the Envoy platform, buyers, sellers, and financiers first purchase the NVOY, the Envoy token, which is a cryptocurrency running on the Stellar Open Network, and deposit and stake a minimum amount of tokens for Envoy membership. The tokenized payments are not a new idea in cross-border transactions. In 2017, IBM launched a similar cryptocurrency-based solution. So you can see why we involved their new discussion in the article tonight. So which it also uses the Stellar network. And while blockchain-based payment network Ripple has its own cryptocurrency XRP, which can be similarly used as a bridge between fiat currencies. The benefit of such solutions is that they reduce intermediaries and bring down settlement times to seconds, and we know 3 to 5 seconds, while avoiding high foreign exchange fees. However, Tyrone says that the Envoy is the first end-to-end solution, which brings together both cryptocurrency bridges and financing. It's the way in which we differ from other trade finance or supply chain solutions, then it's that we have the payment solution as well as the supply chain and transparency solution. So this is a one-stop shop. Very exciting news, and I want to leave you with a final thought. The future is not a gift, it is an achievement. And I would like to add to that, your gift is the present, so unwrap it and begin living. Much love, and remember, this is not financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. And we will catch you in the next one.